All right, let's see here. Determine the current user share. Yeah. In fact, I should go get my laptop quick. What up, Kaya? I need to do... There's a chance that my stream might get cut early today. My internet problem. Turns out that the fiber line is damaged and AT&T is coming out this morning to fix it. So they gave me a giant ass time window. So who knows when they'll get here. All right. So I got 2slash working yesterday. And I want to update that on my new config. Why can't I, the heck? That's weird. I can't switch sides. That's weird. This must be overriding my keybind. Yeah, it is. And LSP. Morning, Ehrlich. Come in here. And we grab this. And the last thing is down here is this line changes. Yeah. Okay. And then I had a new key map. For 2slash. And yeah, right here. And let's just go down to normal. And we'll do it like right here. So what this is doing is I just I tried to add 2/ queries to my NeoVim config recently, and what 2/ queries are is, let me quit out. We go back in and we go to budget sync. A 2/ query is what's a good example here? Right here, this expense. So I can come here and I can be like inspect, and I can drop that guy right there. And when I toggle 2/ queries, it will inline the type. So I can just put that little caret and the little caret and the freaking question mark. It's really nice for debugging and writing complicated types because it'll dynamically update. All right, so we need to determine the current user share. So let's go open a new window, and I want to pull this over here, and let's go to Splitwise, and let's go to budget sync testing, adding expense, and we'll say it's going to be I don't know, dinner. And we'll say $75. And we'll say it's a percentage. And do that. Now let's open our REST client and figure out how this works. So we should be able to get expenses by the group ID. List expenses. Group ID. Bear. Did somebody request this? You can, but you have to patch the TypeScript compiler or the TypeScript type checker, which is really annoying. I don't feel like listening to meditation right now. Yeah, let's listen to this. Oh, that's a good lineup. And this will be Splitwise API key. All right, there we go, dinner. So we should see that there is a, how are we searching this before? We were looking for expenses. Let's see here. Or no, users. We go to users, and then we find the current user. Okay. Lemonade. Mm-hmm. Baxter, no barks. I'm trying to think about how we want to leverage these. So this is saying I paid 75. I'm owed 48. Is that the total? Is that the running owed right now? Owes. Dylan paid and owes 48.75. Why do I owe? Why would I owe 48.75? Oh, we were doing percentages. Right. Not dollar amounts. I don't think the plugin does. It's a pretty simple plugin. At least the Chua or the Lure wrapper. I can look though. It's probably driven by TS config. All right, so owed share 48.75. Net balance. I don't understand why that's saying owed. That should say paid. Or oh, I see what it's saying. Hold on, chat. I gotta go make sure that AT&T's not here and get the dogs ready. I have internet people coming. I'll be back in a minute. All right, dogs have been prepared. They have been let out, and there are carrots prepared to coax them upstairs into our bedroom when AT&T gets here. I will probably have to end stream if AT&T gets here because they're gonna kill my internet while they're working on running the fiber line. And I also will not be streaming the rest of the week because I'll be up in the mountains of Pennsylvania without internet. But we'll be back on Monday. All right, let's figure this out. Remind me later. What up, Priv and Purplish? I have not used gRPC for a hot minute now. But you could create schemas that serialize that like encode or decode to gRPC to protobufs. That'd be pretty sick. Good use case for schema. I'm debugging an issue and I've been doing for a long time with software fours on a friend's Next.js page. What's So how did I look at this before? This is what I paid. Or this is my portion. This is what was paid. This was my portion, and this is what I'm owed. So I'm doing something like this here, right? If net balance is greater than 0, it's a debit. I don't know if that's true. Seems like that's opposite, right? If it's greater than 0, it's a credit. I mean, it depends on like. Does it even make sense to have debit and credit there? I'm using DynamoDB. Do you think using Effect in React slows you down or makes you even faster? I haven't used Effect with React yet. I probably would if I started a new React app. And LLMs are very, very good with Effect once you have your foundations in a code base. Right now, there's not enough like open source code and like tutorials and stuff on Effect that LLMs aren't very good at like the 0 to 1 in bootstrapping a code base. But once you let an LM go in a code base that has a bunch of established Effect, it can do back-end work better than anything I've ever seen because of how strict and verbose Effect is. That plays really, really well into LLMs, and especially if you can give LLMs access to your LSP and the Effect LSP, like they freaking cook. It's actually pretty remarkable. Yeah, no problem. I'm trying to remember how this works. So I'd have a transaction there, and I would have a transaction. It would be a credit. Or no, would it be a debit? All right, let me see how this plays out here. So we have these two transactions. And in YNAB, so not gonna work. That's really stupid. All right, so let's delete this. And we can delete this. And let's just make this a flat $1,000 to make this easy to work with. And in here, we'll have, we would say, let's split these side by side just to get a clear picture of what we're thinking about here. So let's say I pay for this. This would come in and we would see a transaction that says Anders was to pay, the category was I don't know, do I have, let's just say, let's make a social category, save, and I owe $8, right? And then that would actually, that needs to go to Splitwise. Move to account Splitwise. And then I pay for dinner. So, and transaction, we'll just say Red Lobster. And this will be restaurants. Did I spell that right? I feel like that's a hard word to spell. And the outflow is $75, but that gets picked up and put into Splitwise. And this goes here. And the inflow would be 26.85, 26.25. And then the running balance, let's add that. View, show running balance. Why does Splitwise have Oh shit. I screwed up my decimals. 1825. Yeah. That means I am owed 1825. You home. Okay. Actually, let me see that one more time. Yeah. Okay. All right, I had that right. Okay. So we did this right here. Let me pop that over, minimize that. So when we're tracking the splitwise expense, it's in context to the current user. And do we consider this a credit or debit? I would assume that's a credit. Like down here, I have this logic where I was saying we were creating a splitwise expense. And we were saying the type was if the current user's share net balance is greater than 0, it's a debit, meaning it's pulling from their balance. I don't think that's right. I think this is backwards. I think that would be less than. I really don't think that's correct. Let's go to our schemas quick. And I want to look at, what do we call net balance share? Okay. And we want, yeah, this is fine. So if it's an expense added, So, all right. We'll say, do we have the DB in scope here? We do. So let's go write a function to add a is this where I create my API? Yeah, Splitwise. We want to do a like in here, let's say we're gonna do create expense. And this is going to take a, I'll have to take a budget sync account ID, which will be a string, and then it'll take a, what else is, let's just say this will return an effect.void for a second, or we'll just say unknown. And then let's go implement this. So it'll be const create expense is going to be splitwise expense. And we'll go over here. This will be an effect.gen function star boom boom, and we'll grab our this will take a budget sync account ID for sure. All right, so we have the groundwork there. And let's pull up our database model, which is this guy here. I wonder if we even need credit debit. Morning, mentalist. So I think we can do, there's a helper with ElectroDB for getting the insert. What a mail. If we go to Electro, and we go look at, I think there's a section for TypeScript, yeah. Record, query, entity identifiers, entity record type, entity item, create entity item, here we go. So we should be able to export a type here, something like export. In fact, we can use 2/ here. And we'll say equals create entity item type of type. This is going to be type of splitwise expense. Yeah, there we go. And then we could even come in here and we can use types dot simplify. Hopefully that helps us here. Yeah, check that out. So let's do a export declare namespace, and we'll say splitwise expense entity, and we'll come in here, whoops, and we'll say export interface, interface new extends this type here. The fuck? Should find T. Delete it there, paste that there, that there. So we now have this. And we can go to over here and we can say this is going to take a new expense. In fact, we can just say expense, right? Expense, and this will be splitwise expense entity dot new. Like that namespacing. I've started using namespaces for stuff like that, and I kind of really like it. And then we'll get our database, right? So, take our client, and let's just say const underscore equals that. Throw in our client. Whoops. Say db.use, and we'll get our client. Throw that in a new function, say .go. Wow. In here, we'll say client.entities.splitwiseexpense.create. And we should be able to just pass in this thing, expense.go. And then we want to, we'll say, what is it, response. And the response can be all new. And then we say dot, we just return this. And then we get data back, right? And this, I need to yield it. That should give us, I hate that that's not a simplified type, but it's fine. Oh wait, we created, no. Yeah, this is what we want. So we get that, and then we will, I guess we can just return the data, right? We can add some stuff in here. So this will be expense dot budget sync account ID. Although that should already be, that's fine. We'll just add it. Splitwise dot, what else do we want on this thing? Satisfies splitwise entity.new. And then let's add a 2/query here. And oh, come on. Sure. What do we have on this thing? We have type. expense ID. Why would I put the related notification IDs on there? Why did I do that? So far, every decision I made previously, it seemed like was a good idea, but I worked on this like several months ago and I can't remember why I did this. That's a good idea, actually, now that I think about it. What DBO am I using? I'm using DynamoDB, and then I'm using ElectroDB as my kind of database client. What's up, Roasted? A true OG. All right, so I guess we can, let's just put in here splitwise.expense.id, and we'll do expense.expense ID, and then we'll do splitwise dot, we probably want group ID. Group.id. How do we do group ID anywhere else? I'll do expense.group ID, and then we'll do splitwise dot expense dot type. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, fuck it, we'll just put it on. Maybe it ends up being useful for and we'll do this amount, expense set amount, just to make it easy. And we'll add net balance as well. Just thinking about the things that I would want to see in the logs when I'm debugging this. All right, that's probably good enough. So let's go up here and update our interface. We don't need you. I should really bump that out. But this is going to return a, it's going to take an expense, which is going to be a splitwise expense entity.new, and it's going to return the same thing. And it can return an ElectroDB error. Yeah. Right, we have to wire that up. So let's say create expense, and that'll be create splitwise expense, and that should be happy. There we go. We should do as const satisfies I budget sync electrodb. I budget sync electrodb. There we go. What's this saying? Create expense. Shouldn't that structurally be equivalent? If I annotate this, it's going to return a splitwise.new, and then it'll be an electrodb error, and we can just get rid of that. Create expense. Why is that not happy? Did that actually copy the diagnostic? Object literal may only specify known properties and did not exist on command K new. What is the error here? Man, I have a pimple on my face. That hurts. It literally does, though. Oh. Did I do this backwards? That's a function that takes that. What did I do wrong here? There we go. That should fix it. Right? What the heck is happening here? Am I crazy, chat? All right, we're inside here. We have create expense that's inside this object. All right. I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like this LSP server is gaslighting me right now. Oh, I put that on the wrong freaking line. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. It goes here. Skill issue. Someone bumped the skill issue for the day. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. We skill issued. Classic. All right, we can come into here, and now we have our, what was it? DB. Yeah. So we'll come down here and we'll say const db dot. We can say db dot splitwise dot create expense. And in here we can say this needs a budget sync account ID, which we should have. That'll be budget sync account dot ID. We're gonna right quit out. I feel like I'm having some LSP lag. What is this? This thing is like eating CPU. I'm kind of afraid to kill this. Data grip is eating some memory. OBS, that makes sense. Arc is eating CPU. I have no idea what this thing is or what it's doing. But whatever. Let's just quit Ghosty and come back in. In fact, let's just do some updates here. All right, let's try this again. Back into budget sync, into here, down to the bottom. We're right here, and we can just start filling out this thing. So the type is going to be if the current user share dot net balance is greater than 0, it's going to be a credit. Otherwise, it will be a debit. And then we have category, which TBD. This is where we're gonna have to I wonder if the expense has it on there. Expense dot category dot name. This is where we're going to end up using AI for later, chat, is we're going to basically use some sort of AI integration to go look at basically historical transactions based on the merchant and the amount. And then we're going to try to auto categorize it based on my YNAB categories. Mr. Huckabee, how we doing? And then we need net balance, which will be current user share.net balance. And then we need a description. And I think the expense should have a description on it. Yep. We need an amount, which should be current user share dot. Should be paid share plus owed share. In fact, that would actually be the expense.cost. And paid share, yep, current user dot paid share. Owed by user would be how does that work? Let's just put a 0 there quick, and then we'll say, take this expense ID. This will be expense.id, and down here, type string is not okay. How's it feel to be streaming, Sam? Is this day 3 of regular streaming? What up, Boffy? I didn't stream yesterday because of early commitment on Tuesdays, but it's feeling good and weird. I know the feeling. It never stops. Well, I guess what's it mean being weird? Like, it's weird to me that you all hang out with me and we write code and listen to music every morning, and I love it, but it will never be not weird. Because I never thought I'd be good at this, or it'd be something that people would want to see. Code share. All right, so let's go through and clean this up. Yeah, it's a feeling of being able to hang out with people and actually do the thing I love, coding. Yeah, exactly. It's nice because I don't have friends in Raleigh. I'm starting to meet more people in Raleigh that do coding, but I don't have close friends in Raleigh that are in tech. So like this time in the morning hanging out with all of you is like, I don't know, the way I get to enjoy my interests. All right, paid share. And then we should have owed share, which will be current user dot owed share. Owed by user. Ah, okay. We should really write a function to do this, but current user share dot now, is that supposed to be the splitwise? Yeah, that would have to be the splitwise. I don't know if we want these two fields. Although this is probably going back to, I thought about this before and I probably was put decent thought into this for a reason. By expense ID, by group ID. I don't think we need that. page share, vote share. I don't think I want these. Yeah, I think this is fine. I feel like once someone gets decent at streaming, it feels more like hanging out with friends than an entertainer. Yeah, dude, totally. I personally totally enjoy your streams. Thanks for doing it. Dude, thank you guys for showing up and hanging out. Like, this would be nothing without you guys. Like, I totally agree with Vafi. Like, I consider you guys like my friends. Like, you're all my parasocial friends. We hang out every morning. Yeah, I'm very, very grateful. Let me make sure that AT&T is not here. We are good. Okay, we're good. I know I said it earlier in stream, but I won't be streaming the rest of the week. I'm going up to Potter County in Pennsylvania. My dad retires this morning, and we have a big retirement party up in the mountains at our hunting camp, so I won't have service. And I'll be away, but I'll be back on Monday. And I'm hoping maybe when I'm in the mountains, I'll spend some time on Friday morning figuring out how to set up streaming to Twitter or X, and we'll start actually dual streaming. I'll pass it on roasted. All right, let's just sort this and see how that comes out. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so we create the, we don't even need to yield star. That feels like it's not. I guess that is correct. So did that, we did that. Let's just say done. This is done. How do we want to do retries and rollbacks here? We'll deal with that. Oh, we have that at the very end. So then, we should really write another function. So let me do here, breakout to function. Next, we create the YNAB transaction. So we need our YNAB client. So let's yield that. If we don't already have it, we don't. So let's get const YNAB is going to equal yield star YNAB dot. Let's go up here and we'll delete surround that, port star as YNAB. Come back down here. Oh, I love this song. So now we should be able to create a YNAB transaction. We can say yield star. Wonder we can actually run these in parallel too, rather than sequentially. But we'll take care of that in a minute. Yield star YNAB dot transactions dot create transactions, and what do you take? You take a budget ID, which I should have on my budget sync account. YNAB account ID. It needs a budget ID though, so we might need to add that. Account ID. Do we think that is the same thing as a budget ID? Why not budget ID, account ID? So they are different things. So I need to go update you because this is not correct. This needs to have, oh, it does have budget ID on it. What? Why did I not get the autocomplete there? Why not? Oh, I did. I'm just an idiot. Okay. Classic. And then what does this take? Data is going to be transaction. Yeah, we're only going to give it a new single transaction. And yeah, I guess we fill these out, right? Account ID will be budget sync, account at YNAB, account ID, and then we do amount will be it will be the net balance, right? My dad also has a retirement party tomorrow. Akoya, are we brothers? Are we the same person? But congratulations to your father as well. Yeah, I think it'll just be net balance, right? Expense. It's true. Roasted makes a great point. How do we get the net balance? Current user share dot net balance. I think I need to convert this into the YNAB uses a special unit for their denominations. It's like milliunits or something. Oh, we are going to need a category ID. Payee name. This will be set a number. Aha. So let's say this is going to be actually, oh, we do have to handle payments. That's going to be a pain in the ass to fucking fix. Okay, that's fine. Payee name. It would be the other user. We'll figure that out in a second. We'll put the date. Jesus. Date is going to be what? That was weird. And it'll be expense dot date. Does that take a string? Yeah, that is a string. Great. Let's put in the memo. We'll say in here, I think I used to do this. SWID is going to be SWID stands for Splitwise ID. We'll do expense.id. We'll do SWID, and then we'll do colon, and we'll do payee, and we'll do, or actually we can just do merchant, I guess. No, payee's fine. We can do, just to carry some metadata with this, we'll do expense dot, sort of like merchant, or category, payment details. I guess we don't have that there. Unless it's in details. That's a string. What do we have here to look at in the data? Splitwise. Okay, so this doesn't carry this doesn't carry with it a payee. It doesn't enforce it. All right. Is it transaction amount? No, it's not. The expense, so like the Splitwise expense, it would be like $75 total, but the YNAB transaction that needs to get logged is that is not the project we're working on anymore. If we look here, the transaction that got entered for that one would be this. It would be an inflow of 26.25 because Anders owes us 26.25. Which would be the net balance that we can see right here, which this comes from Splitwise. Which we can, I don't think we need to carry anything else with this right now. This is fine. And we can, I think we can possibly add a category ID here. Oh, it has to be an ID. The category to configure a split transaction, you can specify null for category ID and provide a sub-transaction. If an existing transaction to the category can have a change credit card payment. Okay. Let's just add the category on here. I'll do SW category, And we might be able to train on that later, or use that for AI later. So let's just throw that on there, expense dot category. Yeah. And do we need anything else on there? Cleared, flag color, no, we don't need that. Import ID, don't need that. Sub-transactions, no. Pay ID, category ID, no. All right, so that should be good there. That creates our transaction. Let me update this project. I'm just gonna do the easy thing. And let's come in here and we'll say update command project to this. That I never get this right. Is a command update project. I will never get this right on my first try. There it is. Never in my life will I get that first. Oh, we had a skill issue earlier, Vafi. Could you bump me on the skill issue? I really had a bad skill issue earlier. I was putting a TypeScript type in a really wrong place. Dog bless. All right, so we then create the YNAB transaction. And we can map that error. I say we just keep mapping errors here. So let's create another error, and we can have a error that is, let's yank in word here, and we'll do this. And we'll do that, and we'll put that there, and this will be a create splitwise expense error. And this is going to carry with it a cause, which will be unknown. Actually, we know that will be a error. In fact, we know it will be a tagged error. Can I do tagged error? Oh, that's taking a schema. Schema. We'll just do schema dot unknown. What up, Patel? Unknown. And what else do we want on this thing? I guess this will be a schema dot optional. Do we need anything else on there? We should put the budget sync account ID on all these. Yeah, we should definitely do that. Now that I think about it. Budget sync account ID, and this will be a schema.string, which at some point we should brand that, but for now it's fine. And I think I can do the same thing there. Yep. And we'll just do that and that. And now we're gonna have some type errors. So let's come down here. This needs our budget sync account ID, which would be budget sync account.id. We can just copy that, throw that there. And now we can do that down here. Current user share not found, do the same thing. Share budget sync account ID, budget sync account .id. All right. And then on this guy, let's map the error .pipe, and we'll do effect .map error. And if we get the error, this will be the cause. And we can do new create splitwise expense error, and this is going to need some data, which is going to need our budget sync account ID, budget sync.id, and then we need expense ID, which will be expense.id. Splitwise user ID, which we have, and the cause. Are we missing? Yeah, we're missing one here. All right, so we map our error there, we wrap it, and you'll see for anyone that hasn't seen me write effect, one nice thing here is that this is basically unioning together all my errors. So if we were to look at like the kind of error this thing can return, let me turn on that, and we'll do type underscore this, and we'll do inspect 2/, and we'll say effect.error, and then we'll do type of we want return type. No, that should be error. Can I extract the error out of it? Yeah. Type of, we want return type. What is happening with my keyboard here? Something's hurting my fingers. There we go, that feels better. Return type, type of handle splitwise. Yeah. So there we can see these are all the errors that can be returned right here. All right, so that doesn't respect, but our function can return a notification already processed, a electrode V error, expense not found for notification, a splitwise client error, a parse error, current user share not found for expense, create splitwise expense error, or YNAB client error. Listen, I have zero problem with long variable or class names, Ross. If I semi-unironically think enterprise devs got this right, although their class names normally are not great because it's just like, they're not contextual. They're more just like, well, if they're too bought into the Gang of Four design patterns, it's like abstract, flyweight, singleton, factory bean, and it's like, bro, come on. That means nothing. I mean, it does mean something, but you know what I'm saying. All right, let's see here. Gotta get them factory beans, tell you what. So this should return, I guess this can fail, huh? All right, so we map that. We need one more, we'll need another error here for, we'll probably break our errors out into another file. Maybe not. Probably doesn't matter. Where are our errors? We'll take this and we'll basically do the same thing. Here, let's yoink that. Replace here. And we'll say this is going to be create YNAB transaction. error. And then here we want, let's say we want YNAB account ID and YNAB budget ID. And we'll also put in expense ID, schema.number. These are going to be strings because Splitwise is sane. Later this summer, I think we might try to make a micro SAS that competes with Splitwise. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm going to use Local Sync by Johannes to build it. I would say Terminal Shop got factory beans correct. It's true. All right, let's see here. So we get our YNAB transaction. I don't know what this returns, so let's see what that is. It's a save transaction response data. What do you have on here? Transaction. Transaction. Dot. Okay, so it's just got a bunch of data on it. It gets an ID back. Amount, date. I'm tempted to wrap the YNAB client in one more layer. .res.data. I guess we can dot pipe and we can do effect dot map and we'll get data, and then we can do option dot from nullable, and we can do data dot transaction. And this should give us now a transaction that is an option. Yeah. Then once it's a, if we don't get that back, it should be a failure, right? No matter what. So we could, in this pipeline, rather than doing this, we can just keep pipelining here, and we can say option or effect.flatten, which is basically going to say it will take the option and convert it into either a success if it's a sum value, or it will convert it to an error for no such element exception found. So if we come up here and now look, this should be not an option, but it should, we'll see up here that if we were to look at our error type that this function can return, it can now return a, where is it at? No such element exception. So that added that there, but we're gonna map that regardless of the error, we're just going to map it to a effect.map error, and we'll get the cause, and we'll do new YNAB, create YNAB transaction error, and this is going to take a bunch of data that is probably the same as this, so we can yoink that, paste that in there. So we need, what is happening here? Oh, I don't have squigglies. There we go. Expense ID, that'll be expense.id. Then we need YNAB budget ID, which will be budget sync account ID.YNAB budget ID. And I think we need the YNAB account ID. Same thing, budget sync account ID. Is that everything? Yeah, let's sort this. Boom, great. And now, if we were to look chat, that should have removed the no such element exception. Yep, we don't see the no such element exception anymore, and it's converted it into a create YNAB transaction error. Excellent. All right, so we have that part done. This is really for added expenses. We'll still have to handle deleted expenses, updated expenses, and payments. Excellent. All of my dreams. The payee name. We should get the payee name. How do we want to get the payee's name? Dylan EffectTS guides on YouTube thoughts. I don't know about YouTube, but I did meet and make friends with Mark, who is the owner of Front End Masters. So I'm having some conversations with Front End Masters about potentially doing a course. I don't know if that would be explicitly Effect or not, but there might be a Dylan Front End Masters course at some point towards the end of the year or early next year. So I guess we can get the other user, right? We could partition the users. Well, I guess we can say other user, right? We can say other users share, and we can do yeah, I guess we can basically copy this code. And we'll change that to you, other users share, and then this will be replace, and we'll do one other error quick. That's expense, we get the expense, and then we'll just say if expense dot users dot length is greater than 2. Actually, we'll just say does not equal 2. We're going to have to return an error here. So let's create an error for that, because that's invalid for now. I don't want to support, I guess I'm not supporting polyamorous relationships in Splitwise at the moment. I definitely know that I'm not even close right now to making partner. I've been streaming so little, and because my internet has been flaky, and because I've been streaming inconsistently, my average viewers is lower, and because my internet has been dropping, which is getting fixed today, it disconnects people. So like my average viewers is like between like 45 and 65 right now, and we need to be at 75. We're now that I'm working on some more consistent stuff again, hopefully things get a little bit more exciting, and we're gonna start streaming on multiple platforms. And I'm hoping once we start streaming on X, people see that they can request music and just be more involved in Twitch, and it just like naturally guides them over to Twitch. So that's kind of the strategy right now. But I also like don't. It's not super important to me to get partner. Like what I get out of streaming, the stuff I value from streaming, I get from it now. It'd be nice to make partner, but like hanging out with you guys and getting to work on the stuff I care about and stuff I want to learn, that's why I do it. Does not equal 2. So let's create our 2 more errors. Current user share, and we'll just duplicate this. And actually, we can just let's rename this, and we'll say this is users share not found for expense. And then we'll do that, and we'll go back and we'll add type, I guess. Yeah, whatever. We'll do schema.literal, and we'll do current user or other user. Other's a weird phrasing for that. What's a better way to word this? Current and other users. Party, current. We can make it a Boolean, but I kind of hate that. Share type, current user, and then we'll just say other user. Whatever, that's good enough. And then we can reuse that error, right? And this will be share type, and this will be current user. We get that nice autocomplete, and we'll say share type other user. There we go. Listen, crowd, I Do I seem like somebody that has an ego and that would brag? I would never do that. All right, so we get the other user share, and then shut up, Nightshade. That was a rhetorical question. So we made that. Time for meditation. Meditation chat. Take it in. It is actually kind of relaxing, I'm not gonna lie. We should make like an AI generated scene for this when it plays, and just like automatically like wire my Twitch OBS stuff to like change a scene to just like a monk. All right, we need. Let's take this, and this is going to be. Invalid shares amount. Okay. So we took care of that error. It is. It is. It is our daily throat meditation. Kwayu. Throat singing meditation by Medicine of Sound. It just like grounds me for the day. Please never say throat medicine out. Nightshade, you know all about throat medicine. Nightshade is a throat medicine connoisseur. Everyone thinks Nightshade's about that Rick Rolla. He's actually about that Ricola. See what I did there, chat? That was good, right? So we get the transaction. What do we do next? What's the next step in our algorithm? We have to persist a sync transaction. So what does our sync transaction look like? Budget sync. No, we need to look at ElectroDB, and then we have this synced transaction here. Let's copy the pattern we did. Everyone saw what you did there and hated it. And on that note, I'm leaving. Listen, I'm sorry, all right? You know what you signed up for. Nightshade, you've been around for like almost 2 years now for me doing this. You know exactly what this stream is like. I don't know what you want from me. Not a debacle. Man, my freaking hand hurts. Lol. Lol. Drunk on power is typical, Nightshade. All right, so we have to go now write our budget sync transaction. I really kind of want to break out ElectroDB into its own thing. I wish TypeScript ls gave me just like an import all. Yeah. Okay, that looks good. Where do I use this? Down here? Sure. Okay, then over here we can get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of that, find C, get rid of you, find you, get rid of you, get rid of that, come down here, import this. You can get imported, and this will import star as electrodb from /electrodb. Come down here, electrodb, and our other error is going to be layer. Done. I don't think Nightshade has editor access. Record it, Nightshade. Record it, post it on Twitter, and get paid. Let me make sure that they're not barking at AT&T. I'll be right back, Jeff. Guys. Hey, man. I'm going to take them upstairs. I'll be right back. Guys, you want carrots? Come on, let's get carrots. Ready? Let's get carrots. Come on, carrots. Let's go. Up. Come on, up here. Alright, there we put it away.
Functions describe the world.
What can I do for you?
So I guess the fiber line might be damaged. So what's been happening is every couple hours, sometimes multiple times an hour, we lose internet, and when I go to the router at the default IP, the broadband status says there's no IP address assigned. It's strange. And I've also noticed when that happens, or right before it happens, when I browse the web pages, I end up seeing that it can't validate the certificates, and also DNS isn't resolving. I had a it off and put my arrows in bridge mode, and that didn't fix anything. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
How long it's been happening?
You got a bunch of help.
Probably like 2 weeks, 2 weeks-ish. Maybe a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, something like that. Not saying.
Is it wiring panel or is it just, you have a wiring panel? Or?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I'll show you guys. Sorry about the dogs. They're super friendly.
What fun! We see dogs every day. Alright. They'll be smelling us all. What a catch. Careful, man. Good Lord.
They'd rather me fall down the stairs in this moment than this meter. Alright, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna close out some stuff here.
Sure.
Be right back.
You work from home?
I do,
What
yeah.
do you do?
I'm a software engineer.
Oh,